People having jobs and buying things is what makes the cash register of Florida ring. And so what we should be talking about, if you've paid attention to our current Senate President, Bill Galvano, or our House Speaker, Jose Oliva, they're both talking about innovation, growing the economy, and lowering the cost of living in Florida. So that's the context of what the next few leaders are talking about. Okay. This one is something, we have another summit later in the year to look at things like innovation. But look at what's driving the expenses of the state of Florida portion of our budget, right? See that 42%? These are mandated spending, so to speak, things like health care. We're spending more on health care and related activities than we are on education. And most people want to invest more in education, but the health care part of our mandated expenditure is eating up more and more of our state budget. I'm only putting that up here not to in any way, shape, or form make policy statements, but to tell you this is where the state's bringing in money, this is where we're spending money, and it's why I think Governor DeSantis has a very clear strategy of how to grow revenues and how to do things more efficiently, and we're very excited about where we go next. Okay, I just told you about our state budget, right? It's almost $90 billion. I want to remind you, since we met last year for our Economic Outlook Summit and now, there was a tax package that passed a year ago, December, and a lot of people are talking about the advantages in Florida. So we did some work with Enterprise Florida in New York, and Wall Street Journal wrote about it. Here's the deal. If you live in New York, your state has essentially twice the budget that Florida does. So there's a reason people are leaving New York and they're moving to Florida in big numbers, and that's a good thing, and I just wanted to share with you that happened since last year. Speaking of moving to Florida, we pay attention to, think about income that moves into Florida, right? So much income is moving into Florida that we track it by the hour. When we met last year, it was just under $900,000 of income was moving into Florida. That's what the numbers say. Today, it's almost $1 million an hour of income is moving into Florida. Every hour, every day, nights, weekends, holidays, and so forth, right? Most states wish they had that. Okay, one of the things that we've been talking about for decades is Florida's economy and how do we diversify Florida's economy, right? So 30 years ago, Florida was one of the cheapest places to live in the United States, okay? And back then, our education system was in the bottom 5. And if you fast forward to where we are now, this surprises almost everybody. Unless you're in the economic development business, this slide will surprise you, right? So nationally, last year when we stood before you, we told you that Florida has the 24th most diverse economy in the United States. And that is one of our goals.